Hi class, let's take a few minutes and talk about that APA style quiz that is due on Saturday, February 1st. Okay, I apologize, but I'm just going to go through this list of things I have that I think are important for you to know prior to taking that quiz. If you've already taken that quiz, I am so sorry. I believe that you can take it 3 times and it takes your highest score. So we're just going to go through really quick, but I want you to have some of this information because that quiz is very nitpicky. Okay, the first thing you need to know is you can use first person in APA format, but you need to use active voice. For example, you would say, we conducted an experiment. That being said, you need to limit your use of personal pronouns. I don't want you to say, and as a group, we thought it was a total bummer. I know that you think I'm joking. I can't tell you the number of times I've seen total bummer on an actual paper. Well, I want to know what you did. I actually don't care what you think. I know that's rude. I don't care about what you think. I do, but I don't want you to say it like, and we think this is a total bummer. No, let's be professional with this. You as a researcher, I definitely want to know what you think. You as a person with thoughts and opinions about just various things in general, we're not going to care so much about that right now. Like, you don't care about my opinion as Ashley Suker. However, you do care about my opinion as Sister Suker, your teacher. So think about it that way. I don't care about your opinion in this setting as Timmy, the person on the street, but I do really care about it as Timmy, the researcher in Health Science 391. So put your little research hat on. That's what we care about in APA format. So never say total bummer. And by that, we mean first person can be used when discussing research steps. So what did you do? But do not editorialize. So do not say, we think that, or because this happened, now we think this. That is lovely, but not appropriate. Okay. Be specific when you describe the people that participate in your research study. Don't just say people, because that could be any person that's on the planet. You want to say study participants, respondents, label them as something. Avoid any poetic and figurative language. This is not a creative writing piece. This is a research paper, so just make sure that you write it as that. Yes, it will be boring. It will be, and that is a total bummer. But that we are learning to write scientifically, and scientific writing is not literature. Statements of personal opinion or casual observation should not be included. So don't tell me anything about your experience. For example, if your topic was ADHD, don't say, when I had ADHD, when my child had ADHD, I saw this. That is lovely and interesting, but again, I care about you as a researcher, not necessarily as an individual person, though I do care about you as an individual person, just not in any written assignment outside of the personal application assignment. Okay, direct quotes should only be used if phrases cannot be rewritten or stated in another way. Direct quotes should very rarely be used. You should almost always be able to paraphrase for several reasons. First, paraphrasing helps ensure that you understand the meaning behind this information better than if you are just using a direct quote. And second, people often use too much of a direct quote. If you have more than 4 lines of a direct quote, that is way too much. You might find like 4 or 5 words and need to quote that. You don't need to quote a paragraph. You need to summarize that paragraph for me. That helps you understand it and me understand it. Because if I am someone else reading it who's not your teacher, I'm going to see this really long direct quote and I'm going to skip it. I'm going to skip on down to the next thing, because that is what the average reader will do. That is what your peers will do. That is what people that you eventually will work with will do. So pick out the most important things. Brevity is key, except in this video. Okay, a signal phrase is a set of words that lets the reader know whose ideas you are using. So if you don't want to use a citation that says, the sky is blue, parentheses, Smith, comma, 2019, parentheses, period, that is fine. You might want to say, according to Smith, parentheses, 2019, the following information is true. That is a signal phrase. You are welcome to do that. But you probably don't want to start with in a study conducted by or a study done by, because there are, I think it's fine, but the rubric doesn't think it's fine. So you can lose points by that. So a signal phrase is just when you're using the author's last name to indicate that they said the saying. So according to, in research done by, in a study done by, that kind of thing. Okay, APA citations and signal phrases always include the author's last name and the year published. So like I said, it's going to be those parentheses, Smith, comma, year, or according to Smith, parentheses, the year, go on. Page numbers should only be included in your citations if a direct quote is used. The page numbers will always be included in the references, but only in the in-text citations when a direct quote is used. So if you use a direct quote, you go parentheses, Smith, comma, year, comma, page, whatever, parentheses, period. This will make more sense when I send you this answer key after the quiz is done. The following items should always be included in APA end of text references: DOI, year of publication, author's first, middle initials if available, author's last name. So if you were citing Ashley Sucher, A. Sucher, the page number, the journal title, volume, and the issue of the journal. References at the end of the text should be presented in alphabetical order by first author's last name or by title if no author is present, regardless of the type. So you're not going to do all of your journal articles in alphabetical order, then all your books in alphabetical order, then all your websites. It's just everything in alphabetical order. If a reference, an end of text reference, is longer than one line, the second line should be indented ½ inch. That is an APA formatting thing. For a source with 3 to 5 authors, the phrase "at all" can be used in the signal phrase or the in-text citation the second and subsequent times you cite the source. So if you have 5 authors, you have Smith, Jones, Johnson, and White. I don't know why I can't think of another name. So you have 4 authors. The first time you're going to say Smith, comma, Jones, comma, Johnson, comma, or no comma, and ampersand sign, and White, year, period. The next time you will just say Smith at all, year, period. That will also make more sense as you look through the stuff. So anytime that you have 6 or more authors, however, you will always use that at all, whether it's in the signal phrase or the citations the first time. So 3 to 5 authors, you use but all the authors' names in that first citation or signal phrase. 6 or more authors, you just use the first author's name at all. I know, it's really confusing. And if you have less than 3 authors, fewer than 3 authors, you will never use the phrase at all. The DOI, or digital object identifier, if that is not available, use a search engine to find the URL from the publisher. And it should never be hyperlinked in blue. A separate title page is required for all APA-style research papers, and that will include information that's listed on that Purdue OWL, but it's your name, the class that you're in, the title of your paper, that kind of stuff. The running head and all other text in a research paper should be in 12-point Times New Roman font. So if your computer defaults to something else, which for example mine does, you need to make sure that everything is in 12-point Times New Roman font. And the reason is that shows up in, well, first of all, it's an APA style guideline, but that shows up in a lot of the rubrics, and it's really easy to tell if you are not using Times New Roman font, because it just is. So the running head, I just mentioned that, but the running head is an abbreviated form of your title. It's in all caps. It's up to 50 characters long, and it's at the top of every page. It does, in fact, say running head, colon, and then whatever. So make sure that it's done correctly. There is a template to be used in the course as we get a little bit further down that has that running head. And please, may I beg you, please, when you use that template, delete all extraneous information. Anything you don't need, delete it, and replace things that say running head sample with your actual running head, please, because you will lose points. Okay, APA style requires a bold font for paragraph headers, so methods, stuff like that. Graphs are not an acceptable way to display information in APA format and style. However, graphs may be used, but you need to relabel them as figures. So instead of saying graph 1.1, you would say figure 1.1. I know it's a really weird thing, but it is one of those quirks of APA. We're going to follow it. Okay, I think that is all the very important stuff you need for your quiz. It is nitpicky. I apologize. Hopefully this helped a little bit. Remember, you are able to take it more than once. And also remember, the vast majority of your points are actually going to come the last week of the semester. So if you miss 2 or 3 points on this, the world isn't going to end. It is frustrating, but the world is not going to end. And on early next week, I will post this answer key, because if I post it before, that would be cheating. But I will post it. You will not see what you missed actually though until the quiz closes on the 1st, because that is how the people that set up the course did it. So you may be wondering, what did I miss? Well, you can see on Monday what you missed. I'm really sorry in the meantime, but let me know if you have any questions.